6 requests, 6 months. I'm going to try to be serious. The responses that I have so far, just to summarize, are that we can't get an amount that's spent on training, but it is an expectation that a delineation of that data from our accounting system can happen sometime in the future. Also, when I ask specific questions about the training that has not been done for lieutenants and captains since 2007, I'm told that there's self-directing learning atmosphere, which is virtually videotapes and online training. When I ask about whether there are monies in the budget, I'm hearing from other questions that overtime is being appropriated, but not for training. There's money for overtime, but not for training. We're not filling slots. And I didn't get I don't believe I got a specific answer to the question that, are we going to have training if we're not successful on the grant? Moving on, I would like to ask another specific question. I requested training logs, and I was told this information was presented to the grand jury, and therefore the Philadelphia Fire Department is not releasing this information until their findings have been otherwise determined. When were the training logs presented to the grand jury, Commissioner?
I'm sorry, I was speaking with my deputy to try to help to answer that. What was your last question?
I will read a statement that represents part of my request over the 6 request, 6-month period. And it refers specifically to the request for the training logs. The response was, this information was presented to the grand jury, and therefore the Philadelphia Fire Department is not releasing this information until their findings have been otherwise determined. When were the training logs presented to the grand jury, Commissioner?
When were they presented to the grand jury?
When were they presented to the grand jury? What was the date?
I don't have the exact date. It's been some time now.
Was it before October?
I'm not certain.
Okay, if it was not before October, why wasn't that information sent to me? Who instructed you not to share this information and release these training logs with anyone because of the grand jury?
I don't recall. I do know that if the grand jury has the information, that I'm not allowed to disseminate that.
Who told you that you're not allowed to disseminate that information?
I'm not sure of the exact person, but it was the administration when I questioned.
Okay. Was the original log sent over there, or was a copy of the log sent over there?
I'm not certain.
If it were a copy, then there should be, under public information, that information should be available. The question is, if this information is difficult to come by, what is in a training log? What kind of information goes into these training logs? And why would they be interested, and why isn't it available to us?
Well, what goes into the training logs is what it says. It's a log of all of the training that's done.
Can you be more specific? Because I'm really having trouble understanding why I can't get that information.
Specifically, training that an individual does is logged, and the type of training, the date of the training, is logged. Okay. So that's any training.
I'm really trying to find out then, since October when I made that request, what is so difficult about that information? What other training information did you share with the grand jury? Perhaps you can give us a list of that training, because I'm getting some information, but what information did they request? You can say that you can't share it, but can you give me a list of what they requested?
I'll have to get back to you now and let you know what they requested and what we provide.
Okay, 6 requests, 6 months. I'm not optimistic. Are you aware that under the rules for grand jury, only the judge can prohibit you from releasing that information?
If that's That's true, I am not.
So well, that is the case. So if a judge hasn't specifically prohibited you from furnishing that information to this legislative body, you're saying it's the administration that's saying that. So I'm requesting that information again. The administration does not control the grand jury process. Only a judge can do that. And more specifically, if you submitted an original, I can understand why that would be endorsed by the grand jury. We don't know whether the originals were sent over or a copy was sent over. And I'm really curious about what those logs were. Getting back to another...
Your request is noted.
Getting back to another specific issue. If you give me a second here, I'm just looking down at this request. The Philadelphia Fire Department generally trains personnel on straight time or while they're on duty by either sending the entire company to the fire academy when necessary or by performing a station battalion training exercise out in the field as an on-the-road training program. Field officers, deputy and battalion chiefs, captains, and lieutenants are also encouraged to run various training exercises at the stations regarding specific needs. Example, high-rise building training in center city stations. That is class $100. Can you tell me, other than class $100, what training dollars are being expended for the Philadelphia Fire Department?
That's something we would have to compile.